puntahan natin itong mga possibilities kasi hindi lang naman si Camille Villar yung inisyu ng show cause order. Meron ding iba pang mga kandidato. And actually, iba rito mga prominent, no? Sa balita, kasama rito yung mayor ng Caloocan, yung mayor ng Malabon, si Isko Moreno na sinisikap makabalik bilang mayor ng Manila at yung isang kandidato sa pagka-mayor si Sam Versosa. Technically, pati si Camille Villar, of course, no? Yung mga pangalan nila nasa balota na. So pwede silang i-disqualify at this stage, at this point ng COMELEC with less than 17 days before the elections?
Opo, well, the question of whether matatapos or madidesisyonan ang disqualification by May 12, I don't think so. Masyadong maikli na yung panahon.
Maikli na.
But ang rule kasi sa disqualification is that number one, it has to be filed before proclamation. So dapat before May 12, kung May 12 man yung proclamation, dapat ma-file muna sa COMELEC. Okay, the moment lumagpas na yung proclamation, then automatic, ang pwede mo na lang habulin dyan yung criminal aspect, which is
makapag-file
korte na, criminal aspect, pero hindi na pwedeng disqualification. Okay? Second, as regards the question, what if natapos ng eleksyon? Pwede bang mag-survive or tumuloy yung kaso after elections? The answer is yes. Under Republic Act 6646, the disqualification case actually will survive. So pwedeng ipagpatuloy even after elections. And the moment may finding ang COMELEC na disqualified ka, kahit na proklama ka na, matatanggal ka pa rin. And in fact, ang pwedeng maupo dyan would be yung second in command. For example, kung mayor yung disqualified, then yung vice mayor yung aakyat by virtue of succession. So pwede actually mag-survive yung case after elections.
So miski na iliwanagin ko lang, no? Kunwari ito si Camille Villar, naproklama na ng COMELEC. Okay? So technically, dapat wala na sa kamay niya yan, di ba? Mapupunta yan dapat sa SET, tama ba? Kung meron ibang mga issues, no? Pero kung meron pang buhay na disqualification at nag-decide sila after proclamation, pwede pa siyang i-disqualify?
Yes, pwede po mag-survive because yung jurisdiction kasi ng SETs as regards qualifications, as regards election. So ibig sabihin, tama ba yung did she get enough votes to be elected? Did she get enough valid votes to be elected? Whether qualified ba siya? Those questions pertain to the jurisdiction ng SET. But yung question of whether she has committed acts which could disqualify her, ang jurisdiction po niyan sa COMELEC. And under RA 6646, yung jurisdiction ng COMELEC, yung residual jurisdiction niya, nagsurvive po even after proclamation. In fact nga, kung ang COMELEC has the right to even suspend the proclamation if the evidence of guilt is strong. So for example, na-file for example yung disqualification before election, the petitioner can actually file a motion to suspend the proclamation of the subject candidate. So in fact, pwedeng isuspinde yung proclamation and paantay mo na matapos yung kaso bago siya maproklama. So kung innocent siya, then she can be proclaimed. However, if she is found guilty, then pwede po isuspend yung proclamation niya.
Paano naman, Attorney Emil, kung nakapag-assume na ng bagong posisyon itong subject ng disqualification?
Well, ano pa rin po, ang legal interpretation ko dyan is even if maproklama siya as senador, kung may finding na disqualified siya, then pwede pa rin ma-unseat po yan. For example, remember mo yung cases, for example, sa Cagayan and even sa Albay, yung ban on the expenditure of public funds during the prohibited period. So these candidates, finailan po ng disqualification case. And remember, they were already proclaimed when the COMELEC decided to unseat them on the ground that disqualified sila. So notwithstanding the fact that the jurisdiction na transfer na po yan sa COMELEC, but co-waranto and protest na dapat, hindi na disqualification. Yet notwithstanding the proclamation, tumuloy po yung disqualification case. In fact, they were unseated, notwithstanding the fact na naproklama na po sila. So, same argument, notwithstanding the proclamation, pwede po tumuloy yung disqualification case.
Ito bang kunwari, dinisqualify ng COMELEC yung ilan sa mga initial na show cause order because of findings later. Kunwari si Camille o yung iba pa mga kandidato. Maski nakaupo na, pag nag-order ang COMELEC, immediately executory unless magkaroon ng TRO. Ganun ba yan?
Well, ang kung disqualification case, dumadaan po yan sa division level. So magde-decide muna yung either yung first or second division, depende kung saan po na-raffle yung case. And then the moment na kung sino ang natalo, pwede niya pang i-akyat yan sa COMELEC and BAC by way of a motion for reconsideration. And the moment mag-rule na po yung COMELEC and BAC, nagiging final na po yung decision nila, and the only way na pwede mong ma-stop yung implementation niyan is by going up to the Supreme Court, and kailangan niyo pong humiling ng TRO or SQA or status quo ante order po.
Pero ito naman reality, no? Kasi mga prominent names to. Example, Camille Villar. Napakayaman ng pamilya na ito. Tapos yung iba pang mga inisyo ng show cause order. Parang in reality, sa pakaramdam mo lang, kaya bang tuluyan niya ng COMELEC kung sakali mang merong sapat na ebidensya to prove that they indeed engage in vote buying?
Well, I would say na it takes tremendous political will and talagang independence on the part of the COMELEC para tuluyan yung mga kandidato na alam natin na in terms of influence, in terms ng yaman, in terms of political connections, para yan ma-disqualify, katakot-takot na political will at tibay ng loob yan. So, the question of whether or not kayang pangatawanan ng COMELEC is something na sila lang makakasagot at this point. Diba? Kaya bang panindigan ng current COMELEC and BAC? It's a question, it's a challenge actually for them. And I'm equally interested to know hanggang saan kaya dalhin ng COMELEC actually yung political will niya in preventing or actually fighting vote buying in the country.
Okay. Ito last point, Attorney Emil. No? Kanina binabanggit mo yung merong batas, tapos at the same time, merong expectation on the ground. Expectations, may realities. Anong suggestion mo to somehow bridge the gap? Kasi merong batas, pero ang dami nagbabiolate. Should we amend the law and make that particular provision more realistic?
Well, unang-una kasi may very old study yan na ang prevalence actually ng vote buying is directly proportional with kung gaano kataas actually yung poverty. So, siya actually parang sign siya na mahirap talaga ang buhay to the point na yung tao are willing to sell their votes para lang sa kakarampot na bigas or sa 100 piso, for example. So, ang point dito is habang mahirap yung tao, habang hindi nabibigay ng gobyerno yung dapat ibigay sa tao, people will receive and will sell their vote. Okay? So, yun yung reality. Actually, proven yan. In fact, na may nabasa akong libro dati na sinasabi na noong mahirap pa yung Amerika, very prevalent actually yung vote buying in the United States. But now, we barely hear about vote buying in the United States because umakyat na po yung quality ng buhay nila doon. In the same manner that if we want a long-term approach to vote buying, to prevent vote buying, we really have to do something about the economic condition of our countrymen. Kailangan ayusin talaga yung buhay nila to the point na kaya na nilang tanggihan yung pera. Because again, yung pagtanggi actually sa pagbili ng boto mo, matter of privilege siya that very few people can actually say no to. Second, in terms of legal reform, again, ang sine-explain ko parati, dalawa kasi yung component ng vote buying, hindi lang vote buying, and may corresponding crime of vote selling. I'm actually in favor of decriminalizing vote selling and doubling actually the penalty for vote buying. Kasi ang burden nasa kandidatong nagbibigay rather doon sa naghihirap na taong bayan na kumakapit na lang sa patalim. So kung ako man dapat i-punish, yun po yung kandidato na namimigay na namimili ng boto rather doon sa botanteng nagbebenta ng boto. Kung ako idoblehin mo, hindi lang disqualification, but for example, impose ka kasi ang current penalty sa vote buying ngayon is only 1 year to 6 years. And the prosecution, in terms of prosecution, ang baba ng success rate. So kung ganun kababa ang penalty, tapos the chance of you getting convicted is also very low, then wala ka talagang takot sa vote buying. But if the moment we increase the penalty and the moment we improve our process of prosecuting vote buyers, then I'm pretty sure that a lot of politicians will actually be dissuaded from committing vote buying.